Yeah.
Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. I hope everyone had a pleasant lunch break. With your energy restored, let us move forward with the roundtable discussion.
We welcome you all to the roundtable discussion. For this session, we are honored to have distinguished academicians who will share their insights and perspectives. Allow me to introduce our speakers for the roundtable discussion. Our first speaker, CMA Dr. Natika Podar, Associate Professor of Finance at the Master of Management Studies Department, St. Francis Institute of Management and Research. She is a University of Mumbai approved postgraduate teacher and a recognized PhD guide with over 2 decades of teaching and industry experience. Dr. Podar holds multiple prestigious qualifications, including CMA, PhD in Commerce and Finance, MBA in Finance, MCOM, and MPhil. Her expertise span across corporate finance, mergers and acquisitions, valuation, risk management, and behavioral finance. She is also a distinguished researcher with over 50 research publications, 45 plus conference presentations, and more than 10 co-authored books. We are truly honored to have such an accomplished academician with us today. I now invite Dr. Natika Podar to come on to the dais.
Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our next panel speaker, Dr. Smita Jesudasan. Dr. Smita Jesudasan is an Associate Professor, Finance at SFIMAR. She is a seasoned academician with over 20 years of experience in finance and management education. She holds a PhD in Commerce and MCOM, MBA, and MPhil in Commerce. She has completed the Advanced Management program in FinTech and Financial Blockchain from IIM Calcutta and the Warren Global Faculty Development Program. She is also UGC NET qualified in both Commerce and Management. She actively contributes to research, faculty development programs, and conferences. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming Dr. Smita Jesudasan.
Now let us also welcome our next speaker, Dr. Prachi Malgaonkar. A chartered accountant and assistant professor in finance, she holds a PhD in accountancy from the University of Mumbai and has over 8 years of teaching experience at leading institutions. Dr. Prachi has taught a range of subjects including international finance, wealth management, and behavioral finance. She was also recognized as the best speaker at the Dynamic Policy Simulation at the Harvard Project for Asian and International Relations 2025, reflecting her excellence in academic and policy discussions. A passionate researcher and educator, she has published several national and international research papers and actively contributes to academic and leadership initiatives. Please join me in warmly welcoming Dr. Prachi Malgaonkar. We would like to present a small token of our gratitude. I request the student coordinator, Rachel D'Souza, to come forward and kindly felicitate Dr. Prachi Malgaonkar.
Thank you very much, and ma'am, now you would start with the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nandita and Ms. Sakshi. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to this roundtable discussion on GST reforms and sectorial growth in India. The goods and service tax introduced on 1st July 2017 represents one of the most significant fiscal reforms in India's economic landscape. GST replaced several indirect taxes such as excise duty, service tax and value-added tax, creating a more unified taxation framework across the country. The reforms aimed to simplify the tax structure, eliminate cascading taxation, and promote a single national market. Over the past several years, GST has contributed to developments such as improved transparency in tax administration, increased digitalization of compliance through the GST network, smoother interstate movement of goods, and greater integration of supply chains. Today's roundtable is meant to be interactive. Hope we look forward for the same. We hope to hear perspectives not only from the speakers but from the audience as well. So to begin with, I would like to ask the first very simple question. From your experience, what has been the most noticeable impact of GST on businesses or economic activity in India? Can we expect some of the responses from the audience? I repeat the question again. From your experience, what has been the most noticeable impact of GST on businesses or economic activity in India? Yes. Can we expect some of the answers from the audience? It's an open forum, and it's getting recorded as well. So we request the audience to please participate in this interactive session. Any one of you, if you can please give the answer. Yes?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
If you can please tell your name first and you can please give the answer.
My name is Savio, and according to me, I think the implementation of GST has affected many organizations, and one of the things is simplifying the tax structure. So many different tax systems are now brought under one umbrella, and GST has helped many small vendors to file their taxes.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. Anyone else would like to add to it? Or if we can get more responses on similar lines? Yes? Prachi ma'am, if you can please add something to this?
So yes, I totally agree with Savio that GST has brought a multiple taxes under one umbrella. So the complications which the practitioners plus the general retailers, manufacturers used to face because of the multiple taxation such as excise duty, service tax, then we had VAT, and different state used to have a different percentage of the VAT, different rules and regulations of the VAT. So there used to be a lot of complications. Now it has been simplified because we have only one tax. So simply the one tax, one nation policy has helped us to, the GST has brought this one tax, one nation policy, and it has made everything oversimplified. So great, he answered that.
Thank you so much for those observations.
Yes,
Now-
ma'am. I think one more observation what we can draw was, during the inaugural address, when we had the Joint Commissioner of GST during the inaugural program, Mr. Gajanan sir. So he said that GST alone had contributed to, 2 lakh crore revenue. And this is higher than even the income tax returns. So this figure itself shows how GST is transforming the economy. And if we have seen the growth of India with respect to GDP, a few years ago we were around, in a very longer position, but now we have pulled up and we are currently ranking 4th. And even today, Dr. Sandeep Kuttarkar, during the paper presentation, so he had asked, did GDP contribute to the consumption and going ahead with our Prime Minister of India's vision of Viksit Bharat. So GST has helped in this direction. So currently we are in the 4th position, hoping to move upwards.
So this is the remarkable achievement which we could see because of the implementation of GST. We all have met, and which we are seeing from past 2 days, like because of GST, the prices have gone up for some of the products. But then we could hear from some of these speakers as well that the prices have not gone up for all the products. If you compare the tax regime which was earlier pre-GST and post, for few of the products it remains the same. So yes, it's a very remarkable achievement in the area of GST in terms of contribution to the revenue as well as the Indian economy. Thank you for those observations. I now invite Dr. Smita Jesudasan to share her perspective on how GST has contributed to economic integration. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Natika Poddar. Now, as ma'am said about the benefits of GST. So one important benefit of GST is the integration of India's indirect taxes. In the opening statement, during the first interaction with the audience, when our host, Dr. Natika, posed a question, what is the major impact? That time, Dr. Prachi had stated that the main thing was integration of various indirect taxes, coming to your VAT, SEN-VAT, which earlier existed. Now we have only one major tax reforms, that is the GST reforms. So earlier there were both multiple taxes at the central level, at the state level, but these have been integrated together. So all the administrative complexities which earlier existed with indirect taxes are no longer prevailing. If you remember during yesterday's thematic session by Dr. Swapnil, the second thematic session on the formalization of the GST sector, where he said, he quoted one of the examples, saying that for 2 years, one of the businesses claimed they were neither a business, they were neither a service. So for 2 years, they did not pay any taxes. The main reason being, there were different taxes imposed at the central and the state level. But now with GST, this excuse could no longer hold. We are neither a product nor a service, because there are a range of goods defined on which GST has to be provided. So these type of administrative complexities, barriers to trade are all removed now with the integration of the indirect taxes, because now we have only the GST. Another important benefit is destination-based taxation. Now, when it comes to destination-based tax, we pay taxes only when the goods are consumed. So what is the benefit is the entire tax structure gets standardized. So we know when GST has to be paid and where it has to be paid. So therefore, many logistical barriers, all these barriers also are removed with the advent of GST, and with the GST reforms, it has made easier for all the various sectors. Now, our session is covering only few of the sectors. There are other sectors also where GST is having its benefits. For example, the agricultural sector also. Then one more third benefit, what we can see is the income tax credit mechanism. Now here, this helps business to get credits. Now they would have purchased inputs for the production process, they have paid tax. So they can claim credit for the inputs paid. So this is improving the efficiency of production and also avoiding the cascading effect of taxes. Cascading is nothing but you're preventing the tax on tax effect. And one more benefit is the digital tax administration. We all of us have heard about the benefits of the GST portal. One of the paper presenters was also asked a question by Dr. Sandeep about the filing process. So invoice reporting, filing of the returns, everything has become very easier.
So now in this context, Dr. Prachi, has digitalization really helped?
Yes, the digitalization has really helped, and even invoicing facilities, or you can say you have to formalize the way you maintain your invoice. You have to maintain your invoice record digitally. You can track your transaction from anywhere. A multi-factor authentication of your transaction. This has got a transparency in GST area. And apart from that, there is one more perspective. When you have this transparency, you can easily avail the financial credits. Initially, you had to prove to avail the financial credits that yes, you made this much of these sales and your purchase or invoicing was this much, sales invoicing was this much. But now, as everything is digitalized, your bank, your financer can easily track it from anywhere and everywhere. And it has become, getting finance has become easier nowadays because of this digitalization.
So again, one more question to Dr. Prachi. So now we have quoted, like, theoretically the benefits of GST. But one question comes to my mind. Is this really helping businesses? I'm asking you because you're coming from a professional background, being a CA yourself. So you may be coming across clients who are filing GST. So has it really helped them in their businesses?
Yes, it saves a lot of time to get updated with the various areas, various taxation. What used to happen during a time of a VAT or excise, that the changes used to come, and every taxation had its different changes, different updates. Like if we are in a 1 month, on the first of the month there will be some change in VAT schedule, then there will be some change in excise schedule. So client took a lot of time to get updated with all these changes. But at GST we have limited number of changes, so yes, they can concentrate more on their business. Coming to a logistic also, as stated by Dr. Smita, yes, what used to happen initially was like when I used to decide my location, like I being a client, when my client used to decide a location about my warehouse, I should consider about the taxation regime of that particular area. Will it be beneficial? Will this place be like the area where my taxes will be less? So logistic used to lose its own charm. Like logistic, what is exactly a logistic network? It's like which place is convenient for you. But tax consideration cannot be a criteria for your convenience. Now GST don't have this. Like GST, we have a common taxation. You situate your warehouse anywhere in India, you will have a common regime. So now we can concentrate basically on logistic criteria, which is convenience, and that from a business perspective point of view, that had made a lot of savings in the business.
So thank you, Dr. Prachi. So she has contributed that GST is not only benefiting theoretically, but it's also experienced by the business owners, specifically in terms of digitalization, because as she said, the information is being transparent, they can report their invoices. So this digitalization is becoming the backbone of India's vision of being Viksit Bharat. And this has been a bigger shift in the GST. Yes, Natika ma'am?
Yeah, because when we talk about formalization, it's not just a tax issue, it affects the entire economic system as well. So it's interesting, like when we are talking about digitalization, we are talking about, formalization also.
Yes, that was an interesting perspective added by Dr. Natika Poddar. Now, we had an interaction amongst ourselves. Now, let's ask a question to the audience. Do you think GST has made interstate trade, business expansion easier compared to the earlier tax system? What is your impression? Has it made business between states easier? If you can please raise your hands and answer. We have Ms. Nandini who is coming forward. Yes. Okay, Mr. Savio is coming forward. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Akash Kaur. Ma'am, I think it's a benefit to trader who belong to other state and interstate trade because of the integrated tax system.
Okay. So you're saying integrated tax system has made trade between
Easier.
states easier.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other point?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Does anyone else wants to share? Yes, we have Miss Harshali.
Ma'am,
If you can introduce yourself, please.
ma'am, my name is Patil Harshali, and I do think that because of GST, interstate trade has become easier because as we've heard in yesterday's sessions, they told us that previously when there were different taxes, there used to be long lines of trucks waiting across borders just because the taxes in state 1 and state 2 were different. So the time has also decreased because those trucks, they don't need to wait in lines, and also the trade has become easier because there is single tax across all states in our country. So as yesterday sir was saying, they used to have warehouses in different states, and from those states they used to supply the materials or the products to a different state because of the tax differences. Now as the tax is same, they can have warehouses anywhere across our country and the tax rate will be same. So I do think that the trade has become easier because of GST.
Okay. Thank you, Harshali. So now students, now we know as to why GST has helped Amazon or any other online trading platforms to get our goods earlier, correct? Because there are no long queues, we directly get the goods at the date. Okay. Over to Dr. Prachi.
So let me take you to a professional perspective of GST. So as we already discussed that invoices and digitalization has helped us to track our multiple transactions, and also we have something which is known as multi-factor authentication, which has come up recently after digitalization. So any of the audience have this idea about a multi-factor authentication? It is a mandatory multi-factor authentication on GST portal. So you have to authenticate your GST. Yeah, you have idea? Okay, so you have to authenticate all your transactions which you are entering on the GST portal. And when you authenticate this, you can view this transaction from anywhere. That is real-time tracking. It will help you, and this real-time tracking, what happens with it is, it makes you easy to have a tax compliance system in place. So now your transaction can be viewed from the multiple locations anywhere and everywhere. So the thing is, all the transaction is coming under the overview of taxation. We have discussed about the warehousing facilities also, as Harshali rightly said right now. Yes, because of the warehouse, we used to have a multiple warehouses before, but because of the GST, that is, we have only one tax. So now the only thing which we keep in mind is whatever is your convenience, and that will reduce a cost of our goods, like cost of your production, because the logistic charges will be less when we focus on the main core ingredient of the logistics. Then there came something which was known as GST 2.0. So GST 2.0, this was approved in a 56th council meeting of the GST on 3rd September 2025, and it was implemented on 22nd of the September 2025. In this GST 2.0, what significant change they have got is, earlier there used to be a multi-slab structure of GST, like you used to have a 5% GST on some goods, 12%, 18%, 28%, and a very few goods for 40%. So now they have got all these goods under the bracket of only three rates, that is 5% for the essential goods, 18% which is the standard rate for all the goods which are not essential, and 40% for the luxury or sin goods such as tobaccos. So now as a trader, as a manufacturer, as a retailer, it has become simple for them that they can place their goods under this three tax structure, and anyone, a common man, can also easily understand that where his goods will exactly go, in which slab structure. So if I am producing something which is very essential like soap, I know I will charge only 5% of GST because it is essential, it is under the definition of essential. Where my goods are not essential also and not luxury also, I'll be charged 18%. Whereas I'm buying some expensive things, a car or tobacco or some products which are considered as a sin good, I have to pay 40% tax. So it has become much simpler nowadays. The another GST reforms which have been got is like they have said there will be a lower taxation rate in GST 2.0 for some of the products such as your household items, kitchen products. So now, of course, your mom will be happy because kitchen products have become cheaper, and the kids also will be happy because bicycles have become cheaper. But then, initially when GST was introduced, this was charged at a much higher rate, which is to make it expensive. And bicycles and all, it is just like a normal goods for the kids which are in the urban area. But think about the kids of the rural areas and people who are commuting in rural areas. So bicycle used to be a somewhere essential product for them. Now because this has become cheaper, they can get more access to such products. So GST 2.0 has really helped with that. So what are the core points of GST 2.0 is we have a price transparency. It has focused on affordability criteria also. And there is something which is also known as tighter e-bill regulations. So all the bills which are required in a compliance of the GST, you have to maintain e-bills, that is electronic copy of your bill, that is digital copy. So now what is happening is only if you have a digital copy, it is contributing to green success also of your country. And even if you have a hard copy, if you keep a e-copy, it can be traceable. So the people cannot give excuse that we are lost our copies or these transactions are not traceable. They have completely made it traceable. The tax component in the bill have to be separately disclosed. So when you see a GST bill, you'll be knowing how much IGST you're paying, how much it is going for as SGST, how much it is going as a CGST. So you know exactly what is your tax proportion and what is your invoice proportion. They have made it compulsory. So you get a total transparency of your bill. So these are all the changes which have recently got into a GST. Overall, GST is evolving. There is GST 2.0 right now, but government is also planning to take a step ahead to bring in more transparency, more technologically driven GST compliances with the use of AI, and growth-oriented taxation system. So the Indian businesses, consumers, and broad economy will benefit. So sooner you will be seeing something which is coming up at GST 3.0, in which some goods, some essential goods might be not taxed at all. The government is trying to reduce tax on the essential goods, whereas some luxury good might be taxed at a higher rate. Thank you. Over to Natika ma'am.
Okay, before I go ahead, one small question from the audience. Have digital system like GST return filing, e-invoicing or online compliance improved transparency in business operation? It's open for the audience. Anyone? Has digital systems like GST return filing, e-invoicing or online compliance improved transparency in business operations? No one? Yes? Yes? No? In what way? Yes. Can we get some Response to it? Yeah, we have answer from ma'am.
I am Mrs. Yvonne Sakrani. Answer to Natika ma'am's question is affirmative. It is yes, because digital invoicing has tracked down. Yesterday we were discussing about one case of Hyderabad biryani. So in that case, how the tax evasion of some 70,000 crores was unearthed because of the digital invoicing. The GST Council or GST department, they found out the evasion only because of the invoices through the biryani orders booked on Zomato. So it is definitely helpful. That is in my personal view.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So yes, thank you, Ms. Yvonne and Dr. Natika. So what I see here is from yesterday's thematic sessions and today's audience views, formalization is a very important tax issue. It has affected the entire tax system. So according to you, don't you think that there is a practical change in various sectors?
Yes, because when we talk about before GST, companies often they have maintained like warehouses, as Harshali also and Prachi ma'am also have added it, in multiple states, partly due to tax consideration. So with the introduction of GST, many of these barriers have been reduced, allowing companies to optimize distribution networks. So these structural changes have supported efficiency in sectors such as manufacturing, retail and e-commerce. What you would like to say, Prachi ma'am, about it?
Yes, of course, the GST, it has improved in manufacturing sectors, retailing sectors, e-commerce sectors, and also in other sectors because of warehousing is a one example. Then in manufacturing, so in manufacturing sectors also, because of the simplicity of your GST criteria, how to use GST. Also something which I want to add up from my side to ma'am's thing, like you heard about the Hyderabad Biryani Center. So the second thing which they helped the authorities to get the hold on the tax evasion was the data. We have only one ERP which is operational for the hotel segments in India. So once the transactions was got caught in India, so what happened with the Hyderabadi Biryani government, what the overview that some other restaurants might also be using the same technique of evading taxation. So they got hold of this ERP person, and where the data of all the restaurants were available on his cloud. And it becomes mandatory for him to give a data to the government authority. So when government authority got the data of Hyderabad Biryani Center, then they got hold of not only Hyderabadi Biryani Center, but there were also 4 other hotels in the similar area, and also one hotel, a noon restaurant in Mumbai, who was evading GST taxation. So digitalization again, like in a similar way, is helping GST authority to curb the tax evasion practices which are followed in India. And yes, of course, it is helping businessmen. Business people, if they are producing a goods that will benefit a countries in a long run, they are producing something of the e-products, they are producing essential which will help to the economic growth, then yes, the low GST percentage as compared to the tax percentage which they used to have previously for VAT and excise and overlapping of the taxes have completely it's completely gone, and GST is like you have to pay a minimum tax rate for the producing the product, which are quite essentials. So anyways, it is helping businessman in the form of a low cost of the product and eventually consumer also, because the profit from the businessman while he is saving in his costs is ultimately passing on to the consumer in the form of the low prices.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We have one question. We have one question from the audience. Yes, please, sir.
As you mentioned digitalization in tracking GST, So my question is that to what extent does the use of AI in GST tracking create a concern about fairness and reduce human involvement?
So GST tracking, yes, we are dependent on digitalization, but AI is not a concern over here. AI is like a assistant in digital tracking. So what human naked eyes can't see due to a pattern which is recognized by the AI, it becomes simplified that AI tracks that transaction, AI red flags that transaction. But even though the AI will red flag your transaction, ultimately the humans are only the one to who will be viewing your transaction, and yes, if there is any concern in that place for that transaction, then only the notice will go from GST department. So AI just help you in tracking the transaction, they will help you in red flagging the transaction. But if there is ultimately a human who is sitting, who will view the over depth, in the depth, the case, what exactly the case is, and then it will send the notice, or then it will ask for the compliances or more details. So AI here is just an assistance according to me. It is not like you have to be worried about AI in the long run.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Any other questions from the audience? Okay. So we have spoken about structure and system, but GST affects each sector differently. Let us now consider how GST has influenced different sectors of the economy. For instance, manufacturing has benefited from improved supply chain integration. E-commerce has experienced clear taxation frameworks. Service industries operate within a more uniform tax structure. So at this stage, it would be interesting to hear your perspectives. Which sector do you believe has benefited the most from GST reforms? This is a question to the audience. Yes, what could be the possible sectors? Is it a manufacturing, logistic, e-commerce, services, retail? According to you, which one is the most benefited from this? Yes, due to GST reforms, and why? Can we hear? We expect, like we are hearing since 2 days on these sectors. Some of the sectors may not be covered, but you all may be aware. Yes, ma'am. If you can please introduce yourself first.
My name is Angel Tisa. I feel that e-commerce and logistics, it has affected more because during pre-GST, there were many taxes and there were many trade barriers. But now, like Amazon and Flipkart, they can expand their reach to 2-tier and 3-tier cities.
Okay, yes, thank you. We had heard the similar example in Dr. Smita's talk as well. Any other sector? Can we hear about more sectors getting benefited from GST? Yes, Priyanka ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, in my point of view, manufacturing get most benefited because of manufacturing of the product is increased due to the lesser taxation complications. So a tax structure get very simpler for the manufacturing industry. So small industry get chance to register their platform into connect with the e-commerce. So in my point of view, FMGC products also get benefited most.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah. So as ma'am has said, like it is benefited mostly to the FMCG sector, even it's a platform for the small businesses to grow, right ma'am? Yeah, thank you so much. Any other views, any other perspective on which sector would be benefited due to GST most? Yes? No one? We believe that almost all the sectors have benefited. So it's not a particularly one sector which is benefited, to the extreme. Nevertheless, some of the other, some may be minutely more, some may be minutely less, but all the sectors have been benefited due to GST reforms. So I now invite Dr. Smita to continue further.
Thank you, Dr. Natika. So, based on two delegates' perspectives, two sectors came out. One was the e-commerce sector and the other one was the FMCG sector. That's very interesting. Maybe, these two particular sectors' goods are being consumed by us. So maybe, these two particular sectors were at the forefront of our answers. So now this shows how GST is supporting operational efficiency and the benefits are getting weighted down upon us consumers. And the impact is spread across every aspect of our lives and every sector. Thank you for those perspectives. Now, another important aspect of GST is the ease of doing business. So by introducing a consistent tax structure across India, GST is allowing firms to expand their business. So, they need not worry about the tax structures prevailing in different locations. There is one uniform GST portal. There is simplified tax structure. So this is becoming very easy since there are no different tax regimes in every state.
Yes, I completely agree with Dr. Smita ma'am. So it's like, yes, the digitalization, as she said, there is only one website where you have to go, you can locate what tax rate is applicable for your product. The documentations, you have to maintain it online. The majority of documents are online. So your physical space, the constraint is saved. Like you don't have to maintain all the documents like you used to maintain before in the hard copies. The online documents will suffice. The India is depending more on the cloud computing. Everything is coming under the purview of AI. So your transactions also, they are getting processed with the help of AI. So your transactions, if they are following a common range, then they can easily get processed with the use of AI. And there is a lot of transparency. There is multi-factor authentication, which will check the genuineness of the transaction. So digitalization in GST is helping us to generate more and more revenue, which they're reducing complications also from the manufacturer, retailers, the producer side, as well as from the government side. So it is like GST has made it easy for each and every person.
Yes, so from Dr. Prachi Malgaonkar's perspective, we see that from the compliance point of view, digital systems have made the GST tax reforms more structured, the practices more structured, and businesses are becoming more and more aligned with the formal accounting procedure, the reporting practices of GST. Now, let me pose a question to the audience. Can anyone tell me what may be the biggest operational improvement for businesses after GST? What can be the biggest operational improvement for business after GST reforms? We have been speaking about GST reforms, impact on different sectors. Now, let us see what can be the improvement for business. So, GST reforms have been implemented. How can the businesses improve their operations? Can we have few audience perspectives also? Here there's Mr. Abhishek.
Hi ma'am, good afternoon. Good afternoon ma'am. Yes ma'am, what was the question?
Has businesses improved themselves
Yes, ma'am.
after
They have improved
GST
themselves
reforms?
After GST reforms, they have improved exceptionally well in their fields because
Because
it saves time of all businesses.
okay.
Because
So
everything-
reporting, tax returns filing have become very easy,
tax
isn't
report
it?
filings, reporting,
everything has become very easy after the GST reforms.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now, okay. Yes, Angel.
I think it is the input tax credit because before credits from one tax could not be used against other, but now it can be.
Yes, so it's preventing the cascading of taxes, correct. This was a good point. So therefore,
We could see this improvements basically are linked to the efficiency and standardization. When we talk about the transformation, this could be the one area which we can see, like the changes which we can see because of GST implementation, which leads to efficiency and standardization.
yes, thank you, Dr. Natika. She has perfectly summarized the improvements of businesses. So she said that, GST is improving logistics, simplified tax procedures, and also improving the supply chain efficiency. Okay, over to Dr. Prachi.
So yes, I was about to come to that point about input tax credit. Yes, ITC, it used to be very difficult to adjust one ITC against the another taxation. For example, if I am subject to VAT and I have to adjust my input tax credit to excise or customs, it used to be a very difficult tax. For few goods only that was available, that was not available for each and every goods. But now everything has come under the ambit of GST. That's why it has become easier for the person, it is becoming easier for, you can say, a manufacturer, retailer or the service organization to place their input tax credit against the GST. And as India continues to grow economically, GST frameworks is going to evolve continuously. Like now we saw GST is at 2.0. Sooner we'll be seeing GST 3.0. GST 3.0 or 3.0, both are applicable frameworks. So in that GST, we are expecting like the digitalization will add its more age, the things will become more simpler, and also the tax rate might go down for certain products, making it more affordable for consumer. And GST system, as it is becoming transparent from the first day of July 2017 when it was introduced till today, it will become more transparent. So that is my perspective about it.
So, Dr. Prachi, she has said that there are continuous improvements which are evolving in the digital infrastructure and also the administrative practices. And this can strengthen the efficiency of the financial ecosystem of the indirect taxes.
So, yes, ongoing dialogue like this important to ensure that GST continues to support growth and ease of compliance. Now, I invite Dr. Prachi to give some future outlook about the GST.
As we have discussed majority of the point, and as said in future also GST will be a more simplified version, adding more of the IT, AI domain digitalization. So as the system is improving, we are looking forward for something which is completely digital, a less of the paperwork, a less of the hard copies. So it will be easier for you can say manufacturer, retailer or the person to whom the GST is charged to maintain the documents. The transactions are becoming easy. Also government portal is assisting in people in filing the GST. So you can get GST assistance from government. Like if you are facing any complications to file GST, the government is planning to assist you more in multiple ways. The GST trainings are coming up for the common people, common man. So with this, it will be oversimplified in the next coming years. You will be seeing a less of the GST practitioners, and the common man would also know how to file a GST return, like it has become with the income tax return right now. So if our income tax return also, people prefer to go to portal, file their own return. Many of the people who have a simplified taxation range, and only the people who have a complicated type of return, they go to the practitioners. So same things can happen with GST return also. With government providing more and more training to a common man, the GST practitioners, they will focus only on the complicated transaction, whereas the simplified transactions, the common people like us, we can easily file your GST return online, and government is here to assist you. So that's what is coming in the next year according to me.
Thank you, Dr. Prachi, for those perspectives. Now, let us pose the question to the audience. We have heard what is the benefit and what is coming up next in GST reforms. From your perspective, what future improvements could make GST even more effective? What you could add, what could make it more effective? Can we hear from the audience? See, your ideas, your suggestions, we would be, sending it to the policy makers in form of a report. So probably this could be implemented in the upcoming changes. So please, we would like to hear some of the perspectives from the audience. Can we get few of the perspectives? At least 2, 3. Yes, ma'am, please.
Perspective for improvements could be, ma'am, improving the language in which the law is drafted. Okay. Because in the yesterday's session, we have heard from the speakers that the speaker himself was telling us that once they have filed the return with goods, and again they have filed the return with the same thing which is under services. Then in the one more discussion about healthcare, whether therapist giving therapy to the mental illness patient, if it is given by a medical practitioner, that is by MD, who is, psychiatrist, and the medical therapy given by the psychologist. Okay, psychologist is not a medical practitioner, and here MD, one who is giving the therapy, is a medical practitioner. So such kind of thing, there are some loopholes in the law, and many a times the advantage is taken of these loopholes. So I think this legal language should be very clear, so that there are no loopholes and no one is taking undue advantage of these loopholes, because once such laws are framed, we have the army of even chartered accountants, ma'am, okay, so they how to avoid or how to evade, okay, so there are such things will be always there, but if the law is simplified and it is put it into a very simple format, I think all these loopholes can be avoided. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable suggestion. I guess it was covered in Dr. Prerna Shah's session, the last session yesterday. Yes, well said, ma'am. We'll definitely make a point to incorporate this suggestion in our report, which we are going to submit it. Any other perspective, any other suggestions from the young audience here? Yes? No suggestions? Anybody would like to add? Yes, one more.
Ma'am, in real estate, actually, I want to add improvement. Like real estate clauses add during the process, they charge GST as a service, and after the construction, they sell flats, then they didn't consider as a service or product. That in that context, I want to add my opinion to improve that clauses.
Okay, so the clause which is there in the real estate right from the time of the stamp duty, then registration, that process, that every phase when you pay the GST in that.
And different contacts in service context during the construction, and then after construction finished good.
Okay, fine. Definitely will take care of this suggestion as well. Yes, any other suggestions? Okay, thank you everyone. Okay, one more is there? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So good, we could hear so many suggestions. Yes, please go ahead.
My name is Isha Rane. So I would like to suggest that keeping the multiple taxations, so we can just simplify the GST structure, and we can keep minimum like to 3% to 10% only, like keeping it 12%, 18%. It's very confusing for everybody.
Okay, so you mean to say a uniform tax slab, right? Instead of having 12, 13, 18, which is applicable to the different sectors. Okay, one more. Okay. Yes, please introduce yourself.
I am Praveen from MMS first year. My suggestion regarding yesterday there was a discussion came about including GST on the petroleum products, and one of the speakers have mentioned about it very briefly, saying that the state governments are not in favor of bringing the petroleum products into the GST slabs, but it would be more create a lot of impact in case if the petroleum products bring into the GST, and also helps the like a daily necessary market like vegetables, the vendors, those who are regularly transporting, that when the petrol prices and diesel comes down, even a lot of things prices also will be coming down. And just a very clarification, along with that giving the suggestion, how it about bringing the petroleum products into the GST slabs, and what is that impact that creates upon the state economy if those petroleum products brings under GST slabs? Who will be more beneficial, like the consumers or the state government?
Thank you so much for that valuable thought. Yes, one more we have.
Hi ma'am, my name is Abhishek, MS first year student. Ma'am, I think coaching centers also should not charge GST on their fees, but they charge now, right now 18%. They also should be exempted from GST, right? Because education is a basic right for everyone. They should not charge.
Okay. Ma'am, you would like to add? Yes.
Yeah, so there is a difference between an educational institution and coaching center. So what GST authority considers is like a coaching center is extra. Education is your basic right. You get it in your colleges, school which are affiliated to a proper university, UGC, so that's okay. But coaching center is like an extra luxury thing for you. You want something more sort of thing from your side. So it is not a basic or essential thing. People can suffice without coaching center also on the base of your college, institute level. So that's why it has been taken in the common level, that is a normal GST rate of 18% and has not been taken in a lower rate of 5% or 0%. So that's
Just to add, ma'am, you can correct me, college fees do not charge GST, and that is your basic education, and the coaching center do charge. That is an additional which you are asking for, okay? Ma'am, you can correct me if I am wrong. Okay. So, any other suggestions? Thank you everyone for the thoughtful discussion. Today's roundtable highlights several important contributions of GST reforms, such as integration of India's indirect tax system, creation of a unified national market, increased transparency and digital compliance, improved efficiency in logistics and supply chain, encouragement of formal economic activity. While tax system evolve, GST has undoubtedly laid a strong foundation for a more efficient and transparent taxation framework in India. I thank Dr. Smita Jesudasan and Dr. Prachi Malgaonkar and all my participants for contributing to this engaging discussion. Thank you, and over to Ms. Nandita and Ms. Sakshi.
Thank you to all our resource speakers for the insightful discussion on the impact of GST reforms across various sectors of the Indian economy. We will now have a short tea and coffee break. The arrangement for the guest is in the room 101, and for the participants it is in the first floor terrace area. Participants are kindly requested to assemble shortly, as we will begin the panel discussion at 3:15. Thank you very much.
As we have now refreshed our minds with a cup of tea, let's move on to the panel discussion on the topic Role of GST in India's Vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, Sectoral Perspectives.
It is my pleasure to introduce our distinguished panel members, Professor C.A. Kishore Peshore, the esteemed principal of SMT Mitibai Motiram Kunandi College of Commerce and Economics, affiliated with the University of Nagpur. Mr. Peshore is a seasoned professional with nearly 26 years of rich, diverse experience in education, operation planning, management, teaching, and administration. Through this distinguished career, he has demonstrated exceptional leadership in planning and implementing effective operational policies, academic systems, and institutional standards that contribute to the overall growth and excellence of education organizations. He is widely recognized for his strong strategic thinking and his ability to oversee academic and operational planning. While ensuring the smooth functioning of day-to-day institutional activities, his expertise extends to curriculum development, faculty training, institutional development, and the successful implementation of new courses and initiatives that enhances the institution's reputation and performance. He is also known for his outstanding communication, leadership, and mentoring abilities, inspiring team and guiding them towards achieving organizational goals. His dedication is to education and his commitment to maintaining high academic and administrative standards have made him a respected leader in academic community.
Let me also introduce you to our next panel member, Mr. Vijay Gosar. He has completed his graduation and post-graduation with a Master of Pharmacy. Currently serving as President at Akitas Chemicals Limited, he has 45 years of experience in the pharma industry. Also running a chain of retail pharmacies in Mumbai, a franchise of the central government, which is the Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Kendra.
Now, it is my privilege to introduce our next speaker, C.A. CMA Nishesh Vilekar, Associate Professor at KPB Hinduja College of Commerce, Mumbai. Dr. Vilekar is an accomplished academician and practicing professional with over 30 years of experience in teaching and chartered accountancy practice. He holds multiple prestigious qualifications including MCom, FCA, MCMA, MPhil, and PhD. His areas of expertise include financial management, cost accounting, auditing, and taxation, with specialization in income tax and GST. He is also a recognized PhD guide under the University of Mumbai and has published several research papers in reputed journals. We are truly honored to have such a distinguished expert with us today.
It is my privilege to also introduce you to our moderator for today's panel discussion, Mr. Gurunathan Pillai. It is an honor to introduce a distinguished academician and finance professional who perfectly bridges the gap between classroom theory and industry practice. With over 20 years of experience in education, Mr. Pillai currently serves as the Vice Principal for the BCom program at Ghanshyam Das Saraf College. His academic credentials are truly formidable. He is an FCA Chartered Accountant, a Masters of Commerce, and has successfully cleared the SET for Commerce. But his influence extends far beyond a single institution. He is a prolific author of accounting and finance textbooks, a frequent visiting faculty member at prestigious institutes such as NMIMS and Sikkim Manipal University, and a respected member of the Board of Studies at SIES College. Beyond his role as an educator, Mr. Pillai is a seasoned professional who maintains a sharp edge in the financial world as a partner at Vyankatesh V. Joshi and Company, and his expertise in internal and statutory audits for major banks and corporations ensures that he brings real-world relevance to everything that he teaches. An active researcher with numerous publications in international journals and a key figure in academic administration, please join me in welcoming a true leader in commerce and finance, which is Mr. Gurunathan Pillai. We would like all our panel members to come up to the dais. We request our student coordinators to kindly escort our dignitaries onto the stage. I kindly request CMA Dr. Natika Popdar to come forward and felicitate all our panel speakers and the moderator for this session. Ma'am, kindly felicitate our first panel speaker, which is Kishore Peshori.
I would also request ma'am to felicitate Mr. Vijay Gosar. I would also request her to felicitate CA, CMA Nishesh Vilekar. And also a token of appreciation and gratitude to Mr. Gurunathan Pillai.
We also request Dr. Natika Podar to felicitate Mr. Andrew Fernandez. Our student coordinators kindly I now request Mr. Gurunathan Pillai to kindly take over this session as the moderator for the panel discussion.
Thank you.
Good evening. Can you hear me? That's great. Before I start with the session, I would like to thank Brother Joseph, Brother Alphonse, Director Dr. Shalini ma'am, Deputy Director and my friend Dr. G. Ramesh, Program Convener Dr. Natika Poddar, Co-Convener Dr. Smita ma'am, distinguished subject experts, academician and my fellow participation. It is indeed a privilege to present here an observer at this esteemed conference. I would like to share a few thoughts on the theme Role of GST, India Vision of Vikshit Bharat 2047, Sectoral Perspective. India's vision of Vikshit Bharat 2047 represents an ambitious national aspirants to transform India into a developed, high-income, inclusive, and technological advanced economy by century years of independence. Achieving this vision requires a deep structural reforms, strong institution, and efficient economic systems. One of the most transformative reforms in this direction has been the introduction of goods and service tax on 1st July 2017. Through the constitutional amendment, GST replaced a complex structure of multiple indirect taxes such as excise duty, service tax, VAT, entry tax, and octroys, integrating them into a single destination-based tax system. By doing so, GST created the foundation for one nation, one tax, one market. These reforms not only simplified the tax structure, but also enhanced the transparency, compliances, and efficiency in the economy, making GST a crucial pillar in India's journey towards the Vikshit Bharat 2047. Some of the basic key features what you can underline in this case are, firstly, the principle of one nation, one tax that has integrated India into a uniform nation and market by eliminating interstate tax barriers. Secondly, the system of input tax credit, one of the most important part in the GST, reduces the cascading effect of the taxes, thereby lowering the production cost and improving the business efficiencies. Thirdly, the GST has introduced a digital tax administrative system, including online return, filing, e-invoicing, e-way bill, which enhances the transparency and reduces the tax evasions. Fourthly, the GST has broadened the tax base, enabling the government to mobilize the higher and more stable revenue for the public investments. Finally, GST has encouraged the formalization of economy, bringing many informal business into an organized sector. These features collectively strengthen India's fiscal capacity and economic efficiency, both of which are essential for achieving a long-term development objective of the Vikshit Bharat. Now, when we speak about the GDP, it is said that the manufacturing units contribute somewhere around 15%, but the service industries contribute somewhere around 60% towards the GDPs. At the same time, when we look up the GST collections for the academic year 2025-26, which is still to be ended over there, it has been somewhere near around what you can call it as 25 lakh crores of rupees. So this becomes one of the most incomative things for the government, how they can bring more and more services under the concept of GST. Now, in accountancy, we always feel of learning the concept of cost reductions, cost controls. But in real implementation, it becomes very difficult over here. Now, when we speak about the budgets, every time the governments are more enhancing on increasing the revenues, bringing more and more services under the concept of GSTs. Who must have thought around 5 years before that, okay, now we are having online systems where the maid comes, provides us with the services, and you are supposed to pay a very nominal amount for that. Even that has to be taxed under the concept of GSTs. So there are many things which is what you can call it as a revenue generating things for the governments, and they are trying to bring more and more services to under the concept of that. Now, our subject experts will throw the light on that. Based on this, we can gain some big knowledges. What you can concept of the GST might get very much clear for each and every one of us. Thank you very much.
Hello. I can say good afternoon or good evening everyone, because it is mid-time around 4 p.m. I don't know what to say. Good afternoon or good evening? Good evening, very good evening. See, first of all, I'd like to say that I am not a good orator. I am a good administrator. I work for a listed company as a president. But while talking, I get slightly nervous. I am told to talk on the benefits of a reduction of GST. Recently, the GST has been reduced from 18% to 5% in many of the products. I would be talking on the pharma sector. I run a chain of retail pharmacy. So the most common things needed by a common man on day-to-day basis are the glucometer, which is used for checking diabetes. As per the medical survey of India, the most rampant disease is diabetes, then cholesterol and BP. In these three diseases, I think 70-80% of the population is covered. So for checking this diabetes, glucometer is used to test the blood sugar. Now the glucometer cost in a normal store is about 1200 rupees. In our Jan Aushadhi, the price earlier was 525 rupees. Now because of this reduction in GST, the price is now 492 rupees. Same way this for anti-cancer, for blood cancer, there is a tablet called imatinib. The price of imatinib in a normal store is around 800 rupees. In our shop, it was 225 rupees. Now it has been reduced to 211 rupees. Here I would like to highlight, there is an auto rickshaw driver from Malad. He is coming to our shop to buy this cancer medicine. His age is hardly 30 years. He is suffering from blood cancer. So his monthly expense for medicine was around 7,000 rupees when he was buying from a normal store. When he came to our Jan Aushadhi, his entire month's medicine is costing only 800 rupees. So there is a saving of almost 5,000 to 6,000 rupees for that auto rickshaw puller. So he is very happy with this and his health is maintained. Likewise, this our day-to-day use, we use this mineral water bottles. So earlier the cost was around 10 rupees for a half-liter bottle. Now because of reduction in GST, now we sell it for 9 rupees. For this BP monitor, blood pressure monitor, in a normal store, the price is around 1800 rupees. At our Jan Aushadhi, the price is 1000. Before reduction in GST, it was 1000. Now it is 938 rupees. And in students, the most popular thing is this whey protein. Whey protein again in the market is very costly. At our Jan Aushadhi, it was 1500. Now it is 1300. So the advantage of this reduction in GST is lowering the price of the goods. In daily items like soap, toothpaste, biscuit, packaged food, dairy products, AC, TV, all these things are slightly cheaper now within the reach of common people. And essential services include healthcare products, insurance policies, wellness like gym or saloons. Everywhere there is a reduction in GST, so it is slightly more affordable to the common man. And indirectly this is also increased the purchase power of the common man. And the side effect we can say is the boost for employment and business. People produce more goods are sold. And the tax system is simplified now. Earlier there were 5 to 6 different slabs for the GST. Now in the current regime they have made only 2 slabs, I believe, only 5% and 18%. In our surgical products, the GST was 28%. But now everything has been reduced. By reduction in this GST for medicines, all medicines have become cheaper by 6%. So by reducing prices, lower household expenses, मंथली एक्सपेंस जो है अपना घर का, तो इट इज़ ऑल्सो लोअर्ड स्लाइटली बाय देर इज़ अ डिफरेंस ऑफ 5% बिकॉज ऑफ रिडक्शन ऑफ GST. And by this saving 5%, the purchase power is increased. Indirectly, this helps in boosting the economy. This is all I want to say. Now, before you clap, I want to add one more thing. I am your neighbor. Opposite to your college, I have a medical store, retail pharmacy. Now we are coming up with a new product. It is called, just like you use ATM for encashing money from the bank, we are coming up with a new concept of health ATM. So it will be just like an ATM. You stand in front of that, your 60 tests can be performed in 5 minutes. In 10 minutes you will get the report, and there is online consultation facility for expert doctors at a slightly extra cost. So the doctor will check your report and he will prescribe the medicines. Those medicines we can dispense from our pharmacy. So this will be starting in our next building. It is Bank of Baroda building, Anand Bhavan. There we are going to start from next month. So I'll invite sir and ma'am and all dignitaries to come there and see the new concept. This is Make in India concept, and first time in India AI based. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay sir, for highlighting the various aspects of the pharmaceutical industries. My question regarding that is that how has the implementation of GST changed the tax structure related to the pharma and healthcare industry pre and post? That means in simple form, what was the effect of the GST pre and post on the pharma industries?
I am in the industry from the time of sale tax, central excise, then it changed to VAT, and now this GST has come. So earlier it was very cumbersome for industry, for traders, everywhere it was a mess. Now GST has simplified the things. You can say it is one window operation of all the taxes. Provided if you honestly pay the GST, you are in good books, you will have a sound sleep at night. But if you play with GST, they will take away your sleep. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. My second question comes down to be, what are the most common GST compliance issues faced by the pharma companies, and what are the suggestions would you overcome that?
Compliance में तो by on the 20th of every month, if you don't file GST, you receive an SMS. Have you filed your GST or not? So that itself is an alarm. And it is better to pay taxes. You will have a sound sleep at night, which is what we enjoy.
It's too far now, but we always say that there are two aspects in any nations which has to be completely free. One is to be the education, and second has to be your medical care. So let's hope that we are also not far from that, where India will provide us with the free education and medical facility free of cost. Okay. Is there any questions from the audience side? Anything related to the pharma industries, the impact of GSTs, how can you correlate that thing?
Hello, hello. Yeah, I would like to pose a question on GST. They came with GST with heavy GST, heavy taxes. And what made them change the GST to the lowest level? Now what they have implemented? This is my question. And what actually compelled them to reduce the GST? Because earlier they have made a lot of revenue as a government, and now they have come down with GST. Was it in the parliament opposition pressure, or what is it, public pressure? So I would like to know that.
Andrew sir, the government is never at loss. They are at the receiving end. They always collect money. But if there is a shouting in the parliament by opposition or the common man that, oh, it is a big burden on our pocket. So after eating enough money, now they have reduced to show that we are at the social service.
Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, anything else?
Sir, I have a question which is related to the GST of generic medicine and branded medicines. Usually branded medicine seems to be on the higher price level, and generic medicines, even though the components are same because of the marketing cost and all, the other one seems to be on the lower end. When it comes to GST, is there any specific slab for these category of medicine, or are they treated same?
No, slabs are similar. Like any medicine you say for paracetamol or amoxicillin antibiotic, slab is same, only the basic price is less, so the amount of GST is less. Like for a medicine in a branded shop, if it costs 100 rupees, then there is 18% GST on that, 12% or 18% depending on the product. Same product in generic, the cost will be only 20 rupees. So on 20 rupees you will be paying 12 or 18% GST. And one more thing I would like to highlight, since there are so many ladies members here, in Jan Aushadhi, government has come up with the sanitary pad which are biodegradable, and the cost is only 1 rupee per sanitary pad. I think outside all branded shops, the cost is very, very high. So I request all the ladies members to take advantage of that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
One more question. This transition from medical to Jan Aushadhi, what is the confidence level of a patient to migrate to Jan Aushadhi? How fast it is moving, and how they are convinced, or how they have got building a faith and trust in Jan Aushadhi? Because I see some people are reluctant in Jan Aushadhi. And I don't know the percentage, but I have observed as an observer. And this transition and how it will be full-fledged, people be utilizing the government facility of Jan Aushadhi.
I will give you a background of Jan Aushadhi. This concept was put up by earlier government, Congress government in 2008. But somehow it did not pick up. Government was not interested in implementing it. I think after 2014, when there was change in the government, Modi ji under his leadership, he has taken up this very seriously, and in a span of say less than 8 to 10 years, in 2014 there were only 8080 shops. Today there are 20,000 shops of Jan Aushadhi all over India. At I think every taluka level there are shops. And this concept has come because few things I cannot talk on this dais. Now if a person gets ill, if he goes to hospital, in one admission his 5 years saving will go within no time. एक हफ्ते में उसका 5 साल का saving चला जाएगा. because of whatever is happening in the hospital industry. So government wants to put an end to that. That's why they have reduced the cost of the medicine. Now when the medicines are produced, the cost is same for branded as well as generic medicine. Only difference is for branded medicines, it goes through so many things, advertisement, marketing, attractive packing, and lot of, there is a hierarchy, chain is there. Super distributor, CNF agent, wholesaler, and then retailer will come. So everybody's commission is added to the medicine. Now when a medicine is sold at 100 rupees, the manufacturing cost is less than 10 rupees for branded as well as generic. But in generic, what happens from government, it comes to directly to our shop. So there are no mediators. Of course the packing is not very attractive, but the content and quality is similar. So this is what makes the difference.
Well, I would like to inform all these people on the dais, the dignitaries and all the people who attend this seminar, that I am one of the, patient who is using Jan Aushadhi, and now the GST has come down, so it will be more beneficial to me. And I have been using it from last COVID for diabetes and BP. So Jan Aushadhi is a good medicine, and what I was buying for 100 rupees, I am getting it for 10 rupees. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay sir, for highlighting the various advantages of Jan Aushadhi. Now I'll request Dr. C.A. Nishesh sir for taking up the session on MSME.
Very good evening to one and all. First of all, I would like to say thanks to management of Francis College and also the Poddar madam and also staff members for giving this opportunity for as a resource person for this panel discussion on GST. So without wasting time, with the permission of the person sitting on a dais, our observer and our panelist, I would like to start my topic. So my topic is MSME and MSME with respect to GST. Now as you are aware that MSME means what? Micro, small, medium enterprises. Now for that, Government of India has passed the Act. Are you aware about this? That do you know what is that Act? MSME Development Act 2006, where they specified micro industries means investment 1 crore, turnover 5 crores. Then for small, your investment is 10 crores and your turnover is 50 crores. Then as far as medium industries are concerned, then turnover is, investment is 50 crores and investment is around up to 250 crores. So this is a classification. So we say that these are the MSME. Now how MSME is influenced by the GST? Now prior to GST earlier, there were so many multiple taxes were there. Now GST subsumed almost 17 indirect taxes, including central taxes as well as state taxes. And because in earlier regime there was a excise, there was a separate return for excise, there was a service tax, separate return for service tax, CST was there. When there is an interstate sale, separate return for CST, then VAT was there, local sales tax. Every state has their own VAT Act, Maharashtra's VAT Act, Gujarat VAT Act, so every state has it. So there was always a problem of getting the tax benefit. Tax benefit in the sense cascading effect. Earlier there was a cascading effect. Cascading effect means duty on duty effect. Now after introduction of GST, all these taxes were merged, and therefore now earlier there was also a dispute between whether a particular transaction is a transaction for goods or transaction of service. So when sale was there, sales tax applicable. Service was there, service tax applicable. When there is a combination of there, especially in construction industry, then Works Contract Act was there. So there was so many confusion. So all businessmen, they were fed up with the tax compliance because they have to complete so many tax compliances. But after introduction of GST, they minimize the tax compliances. But if you see the MSME, after introduction of GST, there is a simplified tax structure since all these taxes were eliminated and they are merged with the GST. Then there is a reduced cascading effect. Now earlier when I purchased goods from Gujarat state, I paid the CST, Central Sales Tax. But when I sold the goods in Maharashtra, I have to pay the VAT. Now VAT is also calculated on CST, so inclusive of CST. So there was a duty on duty effect on that. So the consumer had a huge amount of burden with that because they are paying the double tax to the government. So GST has minimized the duty on duty effect, because now if you purchase the goods from outside state, you have to pay the IGST, and IGST you can get the set off when you sold the goods in the local state. So whatever SGST, CST is there, that is also you can set off. So that benefit was given by the GST. So there is a avoidance of cost cascading effect, and this would result into a cost reduction and cost efficiency. So definitely that will give the competitive advantage to the businessman, because when there is a cost reduction, cost efficiency, cost saving, automatically that would reduce the cost of production. So cost of production means your price would be competitive in nature. Then under GST, we can get the input tax credit. So MSME also, they are getting the benefit of that. Then access to wider markets. Now, as you are aware that GST has removed the state level barriers to trade, like entry taxes were there. Then check post delays was happening in the past. But now there is now, if you see in Dahisar check naga, so many trucks and also cars were waiting. Okay. Then the municipality was collecting the octroi duty. Now after GST, this is abolished. Then there is an improved formalization. There are many industries under MSC, they were under unorganized sector. So after introduction of GST, they are shifted to the organized sector. Now they are getting the status in the society because they are recognized as a legal supplier and a legal customer. Because under GST, once they get the registration, they get the GST number, and they can apply for the government contracts, and also they can get the benefits by applying to the, and automatically they get the business for that. Then competitive advantage, obviously there is a reduction in cost, so price would be competitor, so you can compete to your competitors. Then there is a easier interstate movement. You can easily move the goods from one state to another state. Now, in addition to that, there are certain challenges are there. Sir is explaining that. But if you see, there is a few challenges. I'm just explaining. There are compliance burdens or that, because many MSME people, they don't have the knowledge about the GST. So many times they have to rely upon the consultants, chartered accountant, lawyers, cost accountant, company secretary. Those are expert in the GST. And many have a fear that once they start paying, because there are some excises shifted to the GST. So for many default, there are imprisonment under GST. So there is a general fear amongst the traders, among the businessmen. That's otherwise earlier in excise, people were sending behind the bars without bail. Non-bailable offense was there, but now this is also passable in the GST. So therefore, that is the one of the issue under the GST, that people hesitate to register themselves. Then if you see, overall GST has played a crucial role in reshaping the MSC sector in India, and it has provided opportunities for growth, market expansion and competitiveness. It also has brought challenges related to compliance, technical infrastructure and transition period. Initially transition period, there is always a problem. Once that transition period is over, such schemes would be stabilized. Then if you see GST, MSME has generating the, like especially as I said, it includes the startups also. There are so many startups have started in India. So startups also, manufacturing sector, service sectors are there. So they are giving the service to the society. And as sir has said, the service sector has contributed more than 50%. So automatically they are also generating the employment opportunities. Government also getting the more revenue. it also give the boost to the export because we are moving towards a Make in India, digitalization and Atmanirbhar Bharat. So when more and more MSMEs will there would be a huge amount of production, export, it would give the boost to the export. So export would give the foreign exchange, automatically it will increase our GDP, it has an impact on a per capita income and automatically it would achieve the our object of Vikasit Bharat. Now what is Vikasit Bharat? Vikasit Bharat means basically today we are developing country, now we are converting to developed country. So India is most probably targeting around 30 billion trillion, I think, dollars on the, that is India's target. So mostly we will reach you if we give the boost or benefits to the MSP. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Nishesh sir, for highlighting the various advantages of the MSME sector, specifically for the startups, because now every day we can see that some way or the other the advertisements are being made for the startups so that the young generations can come up with their ideas and get the investments for this particular things over there. Okay, my question to you is, sir, how has the GST influenced the MSE sectors in India?
Now, basically, due to simplified tax structure, like now people have realized the importance of GST registration. They also get the input tax code, the simulates credit system. So they get the advantage of, like, as I said earlier, that they get the recognition in the society, they get the government contracts, big contracts, they can expand their business. So basically, MSME, they are coming to from unorganized sector to organized sector, and also there are a lot of opportunities available for their growth and expansion.
Thank you, sir. My second question is that how has the GST policies helped the MSE become a competitive with regard to the exports?
Now, as far as GST is concerned for export, there is no GST is applicable. We called it as a zero rated tax. Now in GST, there are various rates. So many have a confusion about the nil rate of tax and zero rate of tax. Now nil rate of tax is basically for exempt goods or services. And zero rated for those goods are taxable, but their rate of duty is 0%. So for example, we supply the goods to SED, Special Economic Zone and all. So where it is from GST point of view, it is considered as a export. Normally export involves when goods crosses the territorial waters of India. But for special benefits are given to SEZ. Now since the rate of tax, there is rate of duty is nil, so obviously, so it gives the boost to the export. Also, there are some export schemes are there. Suppose if you are producing capital goods and you are exporting, then government are giving the concession in your custom duty. Suppose for manufacturing the capital goods, you need an input from outside India, where those goods are imported into India, on which you are paying import duty or a custom duty. A government can waive that duty, or government can give the charge the duty at the concessional rate, and thereafter you can produce the goods and then you can export that goods. So that those schemes are there. So that naturally this gives the boost to the MSME.
Thank you very much, sir, for highlighting the various aspects of MSE. Any questions from the audience? Yeah, please.
I would like to ask one question. It is from a common man's perspective. Sir, petrol and diesel what we buy,
yeah, petrol,
is it covered in GST
no,
or
no.
not?
There are 5 petroleum products, and that is alcohol which is fit for human consumption. They are not under the ambit of GST. So still they are excised because alcohol is a privilege, prerogative of the state government. If you go Goa and all, the liquors are cheap because Goa government is charging less excise duty. Remember? Because ultimately it's a because there is always a conflict between the state and the central government regarding the sharing of revenue. So now GST, most of the revenue is collected by the central government, and then central government disburse that revenue to send to the state government. So that is why they are given for states also every month there is a GST council meeting. So they are trying to bring petroleum products and this into GST, but state governments, they are representative of state government, they are refusing to bring all these products under the ambit of GST because otherwise they will lose the revenue. Already when government introduced the GST, so the state government lost so much revenue on VAT, service, VAT, whatever local taxes were there, entertainment tax, octroi. So state government wanted the compensation for that. So therefore central government has given the assurance that we are giving the compensation to us, and therefore they introduce the compensation chase. So through some luxury products, the central government is levying the GST at highest rate 28% plus compensation, and then that compensation they are compensating to the state government. So they are giving the promises to the state that we will at least give the compensation for at least 10 years after the introduction of GST. But now central government, many times they are not giving the funds to the state government on time. So that is why the problem, petroleum products and this alcohol products are not in the GST.
One more question. I think the price of petrol in various countries is different. I think in Gulf it was very, very negligible.
Sir, the price is different in different states. If you go to Goa, if you go to other states,
I think
some
Delhi is
states
the cheapest.
Delhi and even Goa is also cheapest. Union territories, you can get a petrol at a lower price.
A friend of mine who stays in Dubai, he said that when they used to go for shopping in some mall, तो कार स्टार्ट रख के जाते थे वो, भले जा रहे पेट्रोल, गाड़ी ठंडा रहना चाहिए. तो 3 घंटा गाड़ी was just engine was on just to keep it cool. So what I mean to say is they could afford that much. इंडिया में तो अभी सिग्नल पे थोड़ा भी टाइम रहेगा तो we switch off the car to save the petrol.
But I just want to say something about the cascading effect. People talk about the cascading effect, but if you see the custom, there in custom they charge a IGST, and IGST is levied on after adding basic custom duty, facial virtual duty, anti-dumping duty and all that figure they charge IGST. But still government is not fulfilling their plan. They called it as it avoided duty on duty cascading effect, but by levying the IGST on imported goods, indirectly they are charging tax on tax. So they should remove that levy so that people will get the imported goods at a concessional price. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Nishesh sir. As sir told that दुबई में पेट्रोल बहुत सस्ता है, तो हमारे लिए पानी बहुत सस्ता है यहाँ पर. जैसे उनके लिए वो तेल है, हमारे लिए यहाँ पे वो पानी है बोला मैं. Okay. Now I would like to request Professor C.A. Kishore sir to highlight the issues and challenges related to the GST. Over to you, sir.
Good evening. I'm the last batsman. Okay? And I don't know how many time is allotted to me, but Natika madam, who has been kind enough to say, I think the time allotted me is 26 minutes, madam, if I'm not correct. Okay? Because we have to close down at 5. Okay? So therefore I said the first batsman, the second batsman is important. उन्होंने already sixers मार दिए हैं, तो बाकी जो last 5 या 6 overs हैं, वो मेरे ऊपर है. Okay? हाँ?
Sir, winning shot आपको लगाना है.
ठीक है. Now, first of all, we are questioning on issues in GST. Already हमारे opening batsman ने कहा issue हैं. हमारे second batsman ने कहा issues हैं. मेरे इश्यूज जो हैं मेन एमएसएमई की वजह से हैं। क्योंकि एमएसएमई यानी हम माइक्रो स्मॉल मीडियम एंटरप्राइज की जब हम बात करते हैं तो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि विच इज इंपॉर्टेंट, लार्ज इंडस्ट्रीज आर इंपॉर्टेंट और एमएसएमई आर इंपॉर्टेंट इन द इकोनॉमी? The answer is large industries, if you talk about, they are the pillars. But who is the foundation? The MSME. So if MSME is strong, there is a foundation is strong, the structure will remain stable for long. इसलिए जो सर ने जो कहा कि GST 1 रिफॉर्म, GST 2 रिफॉर्म जो नवरात्र के टाइम आए थे लास्ट ईयर, नवरात्र के टाइम मोदी जी ने, हमारे ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने बहुत जोश शोर से नगाड़े बजाए कि नवरात्रि आ रही है, हम GST 2 रिफॉर्म्स विल हैव स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ टैक्सेस। और इंडिया में जब एमएसएमई की बात करते हैं तो सर ने डेफिनेशन दे दिया, बट एमएसएमई आर नॉट स्मॉल बिजनेस यूनिट्स, दे आर द कैरियर्स ऑफ एस्पिरेशन। आप में से जितने जन इधर मैनेजमेंट स्कूल्स में पढ़ रहे हैं तो आप तो बहुत से जन एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना चाहेंगे। तो आज हिंदुस्तान में जो कहा जा रहा है कि एवरीबडी शुड बी एन जॉब क्रिएटर देन जॉब सीकर, तो यू आर जनरेटर्स ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट, यू आर प्रोटेक्टर्स ऑफ फैमिली एंटरप्राइज, यू आर द स्ट्रेंथ बिहाइंड मैन्युफैक्चरिंग क्लस्टर्स, लोकल ट्रेड, जॉब वर्क, रिपेयर सर्विसेज, स्मॉल लॉजिस्टिक चेन्स, फूड बिजनेसेस, टेक्सटाइल यूनिट्स, इंजीनियरिंग वर्कशॉप्स, डिजिटल सर्विसेज और ट्रेडिशनल बिजनेस कम्युनिटीज। जब हम नेशनल ग्रोथ की बात करते हैं या फॉर्मेशन की, फॉर्मलाइजेशन की बात करते हैं, इकोनॉमिक रिसाइलेंस की बात करते हैं, तो एमएसएमई इस सबका सेंटर है। एंड देयरफॉर व्हेन आई एम एग्जामिन एमएसएमई, मैं टैक्स एंगल से बात नहीं करूंगा, मैं बात करूंगा कि ये टैक्स सिस्टम हमारे एंटरप्रेन्योरियल बैकबोन को या तो स्ट्रेंथन कर रहा है या उसको पीठ में दर्द हो रहा है। जो हमारी पीठ है तो या तो पीठ हमारी सीधी है या तो दर्द हो रही है। और उसके लिए मेरा जो डिस्कशन होगा, ऑफकोर्स सब्जेक्ट टू टाइम लिमिट, 6 हिस्सों में होगा। सबसे पहला जीएसटी में क्या प्रॉमिस किया था, उसके बाद आज की एमएसएमई क्या फेस कर रही है, क्या प्रैक्टिकल इश्यूज हैं, लिक्विडिटी और वर्किंग कैपिटल पर कितना प्रेशर है, और सेक्टरल और एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कंसर्न्स कितने हैं, और क्या हमारा वे फॉरवर्ड होना चाहिए। नतिका मैडम ऑफ सैन फ्रांसिस इंस्टीट्यूट ने ये 2 दिन का सेमिनार रखा है, तो मैं तो चाहूँगा कि ये 2 दिन की सेमिनार की जितनी भी रेजोल्यूशंस हैं वो हमारी फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर मिसेस निर्मला सीतारामन को जानी चाहिए, कि जैसे उन्हें इस बजट में नहीं, नेक्स्ट बजट में ये सब हमारी जो सजेशंस हैं वो पहुंचनी चाहिए। इट शुड रीच द बैक डोर so that it should be implemented from the next budget. Now we are talking about the GST reform. बहुत अच्छा रिफॉर्म आया, मेजर रिफॉर्म, इसे कहा गया था गुड एंड स्वीट टाइम्स। जैसे सर ने कहा कि बहुत सारे टैक्सेस थे, वैट था, एक्साइज ड्यूटी था, सर्विस टैक्स था, एंट्री टैक्स था, सीएसटी था, लग्जरी टैक्स था, ऑट्रा था। ऑट्रा तो सबसे खतरनाक था, हर जगह आपको गाड़ी लेके रोकना पड़ता था, थाना से निकले मुलुंड तक, मुलुंड से फिर आपका दूसरी जगह, ऑट्रा वाज द हेल ऑफ द जॉब। और जैसे सर ने कहा कि मल्टीपल स्टेट लेवल वेरिएशन, हर एक स्टेट में अलग अलग टैक्स था, तो जैसे सर ने बार बार वर्ड यूज किया कैस्केडिंग, खाली कैस्केडिंग नहीं था, फ्रेगमेंटेशन ऑफ मार्केट्स था और इनॉर्मस कंफ्यूजन था। खासकर जब हम इंटर स्टेट की बात करते हैं बहुत सारा कंफ्यूजन था। तो जीएसटी ने हमें क्या कमाल करके दिखाया, सबसे पहला तो एक इंटीग्रेटेड स्टेट टैक्स, यानी या तो IGST, CGST और SGST। सीमलेस क्रेडिट मिलती है आपको। क्रेडिट जाने के लिए किसके पास, दूसरे के पास जाना पड़ता है। आपको क्रेडिट एक बार सामने वाले ने दे दिया, आपके रिटर्न में आपका क्रेडिट हो जाता है। कैस्केडिंग इफेक्ट रिमूव हो गया, ट्रांसपेरेंसी बहुत आ गई, कंप्लायंस ओपन हो गया, कॉमन नेशनल मार्केट हो गया। तो जीएसटी ने बहुत सारे बेनिफिट्स लाए। सबसे बड़ा बेनिफिट जो था कि हमें इनवॉइस बनाना है। सर से मैं आज से पहले डिस्कस कर रहा था तो पहले तो हमारे पास इनवॉइस का सिस्टम नहीं था, कच्चे कागज पे हम लोग लिख लेते थे। ये इनवॉइस का सिस्टम हमारे जीएसटी की वजह से ही आया, और आज हर एक को जीएसटी नंबर चाहिए, और जीएसटी नंबर मिलना बहुत आसान है, एक दिन में आपको जीएसटी नंबर मिल जाता है। पहले टाइम लगता था, प्रूफ ऑफ आइडेंटिटी वेरिफिकेशन होता था, सब कुछ होता था, लेकिन आजकल जीएसटी नंबर मिलना एक दिन में आपको जीएसटी नंबर मिल जाता है। तो बहुत सारा डिसिप्लिन आया, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन बहुत बढ़ गया कि इनवॉइसेस हमें मेंटेन करने पड़े, इसके लिए प्रोफेशनल्स की जरूरत होनी पड़ी। तो ये पहला इश्यू। टैक्स नेट हर एक के ऊपर जीएसटी आ गया, तो आपको देखना पड़ा कि सामने वाला जीएसटी भर रहा है या नहीं भर रहा है, कि मुझे क्रेडिट तभी मिलेगी जब वो सामने वाला टैक्स जीएसटी भर रहा है। और आजकल तो जैसे सर ने कहा, हिंदुस्तान का एक बहुत बड़ा नाम है कि हमारे पास डिजिटाइज इंडिया है। डिजिटाइज इंडिया ने हमारे मोबाइल पे पेमेंट है, मैं 1 रुपया भी अपने जेब में नहीं रखता हूं, पूरा जीपे पेटीएम सब इसमें आ जाता है। ये हिंदुस्तान की क्रांति है। वो सारा 3 घंटा आप पेट्रोल पे बोल रहे हो, लेकिन हिंदुस्तान की क्रांति ये है कि हमारा पूरा पेमेंट मोबाइल सिस्टम पे है। तो जब हम किसी रिफॉर्म की बात करते हैं तो हमें लिटरेचर पढ़ने के अलावा उसके प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस में आना चाहिए। मैं चाहूंगा आप में से जितने भी बच्चे, खासकर जब इंटर्नशिप्स कर रहे हैं या अपने प्लेसमेंट्स कर रहे हैं, तो जीएसटी के बारे में अच्छा पढ़ लें, क्योंकि जीएसटी एक ऐसा रिफॉर्म है जो हर एक को इफेक्ट होने वाला है। और मैं खास करके आपके इंस्टीट्यूट को थैंक्स बोलूंगा कि आपने उनको जीएसटी का ये 2 दिन का सेमिनार रखा। मेरे हिसाब से मेरी भाषा, मेरी कम्युनिकेशन स्किल, यू आर नॉट गेटिंग बोर्ड। तो एमएसएमई, माइक्रो एंड स्मॉल मीडियम एंटरप्राइज के लिए जीएसटी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। लार्ज एंटरप्राइजेस के लिए आज भी जीएसटी चैलेंज है, मैं कहूंगा सिस्टम का चैलेंज है, क्योंकि डॉक्यूमेंटेशन बहुत बड़ा हो गया है। लेकिन हम जब माइक्रो एंड स्मॉल मीडियम एंटरप्राइज की बात करते हैं तो जीएसटी एक डेली स्ट्रगल भी है, कि जब शाम को मैं घर लौटता हूं तो मेरे को देखना पड़ता है कि मेरी इनवॉइस मेरे पास सेफ है या नहीं है, मैंने जितने पैसे कमाए उसका इनवॉइस निकाला या नहीं निकाला है, और मेरे को सामने वाले ने उतना क्रेडिट दिया या नहीं दिया। ये पहले नहीं था। पहले क्या था, इतना रुपया आया, इतना रुपया गया। आज मेरा एक भी बिल गुम हो गया तो मेरा जीएसटी गया। दूसरी इंपॉर्टेंट बात बता दूं, कभी कभी अकाउंटिंग में हमारा ऐसा होता है, सर को तो मालूम होगा, दोनों सीए हैं मेरे पास। जब अकाउंटिंग के लिए आते हैं तो क्लाइंट ऐसे ही बिल्स दे के जाते हैं, 20 फिर काटा 20 से 20 का 20 से क्यों बना, ये 20 400 रुपए का था, 20 से 420 रुपए का है। तो 20 नंबर जो बिल था वो काटना भूल गया, तो मेरे अकाउंटेंट ने क्या किया, दोनों एंट्रीज कर दी, 400 और 420 की। एक्चुअली एंट्री एक ही करनी चाहिए थी, 420 वाले की, क्योंकि अगर 5% टैक्स है तो इट विल 41 रुपीज ऑन बोथ द आइटम्स, एक्चुअली इट शुड बी ओनली 21 रुपीज। तो पूरा अकाउंटिंग पे फोकस हो गया। इसकी वजह से क्या हुआ, प्रोफेशनल्स के ऊपर बहुत बड़ा फैक्टर आ गया। इतना बड़ा स्मॉल बिजनेसमैन इतना जानता नहीं, वो भेलपुरी वाला या आपका रगड़ा पैटिस वाला या साइकिल वाला क्या जानता है। तो हमारा क्वेश्चन यही होना चाहिए कि इज जीएसटी सिंपल फॉर अ स्मॉल। मैंने ऐसे स्मॉल जो भिवंडी में मैन्युफैक्चरर है उसके लिए क्या ये सिंपल है? ऑफ कोर्स बांद्रा के लिए बोलेंगे हम लोग कि मैनेजेबल है, लेकिन एक सर्विस प्रोवाइडर जिसके पास सिर्फ 8 एम्प्लॉइज हैं तो उसे एक अकाउंटेंट रखने की भी जरूरत पड़ती है, जो पहले जरूरत नहीं थी। जो जॉब वर्कर है टेक्सटाइल चेन में, उसे भी अपना जीएसटी कंप्लायंस करना पड़ता है, कि जॉब वर्कर के लिए अलग जीएसटी है। तो ये क्वेश्चंस जो आ रहे हैं ये अफर्मेटिव में नहीं आ रहे हैं, नेगेटिव में आ रहे हैं। सुझाव ये कि लॉ जो होना चाहिए यूनिफाइड होना चाहिए, पोर्टल सेंट्रलाइज होना चाहिए, मॉडर्न फ्रेमवर्क होना चाहिए और कंप्लायंस ऐसा होना चाहिए जो आसान होना चाहिए, जहां मुसीबतें कम हो। अभी इंटरनल रियलिटी हम एमएसएमई की आते हैं, तो एमएसएमई यूजुअली जो होता है या तो एक सोल ट्रेडर होता है, या तो दो पार्टनर्स होते हैं, या एलएलपी होता है। बहुत कम ऑफिस सपोर्ट होता है, लिमिटेड अकाउंटिंग स्टाफ होता है, तो उसे क्या करना पड़ता है, उसे ऑफिस कंसल्टेंट के ऊपर डिपेंड करना पड़ता है, बाहर वाले कंसल्टेंट के ऊपर डिपेंड करना पड़ता है। और सबके लिए उसको कंप्यूटर होना जरूरी है। ये जितनी भी टेक्नोलॉजी है पूरी एक पोर्टल पे है, और पोर्टल जो है वेबसाइट है जिस पे आपको एंट्रीज करनी पड़ती है। और इसके लिए आपको इवन कैश मैनेजमेंट भी, जो लिक्विडिटी क्राइसिस में कह रहा हूं, उसके मैं बाद में आऊंगा। अभी इस स्मॉल मीडियम एंटरप्राइज को कहां कहां देखना पड़ता है अपने जीएसटी के बारे में। सबसे पहले जैसे मैंने कहा रजिस्ट्रेशन के ऊपर, दूसरा इनवॉइस डिसिप्लिन के ऊपर, तीसरा आपके पास बहुत सारे आइटम्स हैं तो उसका टैक्स का रेंज कौन सा है, 5% वाला है, 18% वाला है, 28% वाला है। तो जैसे सर ने कहा 20 तारीख रिटर्न फाइलिंग डेट, बहुत कभी कभी तो छुट्टियां आ जाती हैं, जैसे अभी 20 तारीख को छुट्टी है तो आपको वर्किंग करना पड़ेगा, रिकंसिलेशन करना पड़ता है। क्यों? क्रेडिट का रिकंसिलेशन होता है, क्योंकि इनपुट टैक्स जो आप लेने चाहते हो उसका आपको क्रेडिट ट्रैक करना पड़ता है कि सामने वाले ने आपको बिल उसके बुक्स में एंट्री किया या नहीं किया, जब तक उसके बिल्स में बुक में एंट्री नहीं होगा तब तक मेरे को उसका क्रेडिट नहीं मिलेगा। और सबसे बड़ा हैरानिक जॉब जो है ई वे बिल। जब हम गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट करते हैं तो हर एक ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के लिए ई वे बिल होना जरूरी है। और बहुत से बार तो सिर्फ जीएसटी सामने वाला पे नहीं करता है, कभी कभी हमें खुद रिवर्स चार्ज में कलेक्ट करना पड़ता है, और रिवर्स चार्ज बहुत खतरनाक है, खासकर ट्रांसपोर्टेशन इंडस्ट्री में तो रिवर्स चार्ज इज अ वेरी मेजर इश्यू। और जब वेंडर, आप कितने भी ईमानदार हो, अगर सामने वाले ने जीएसटी नहीं आपको क्रेडिट दिया तो आप उसका कुछ भी बिगाड़ नहीं सकते। उसने अपने रिटर्न में आपका क्रेडिट नहीं दिया तो आपको जीएसटी क्रेडिट नहीं मिलेगा। आपको उसके दरवाजे, सपोज एक दिल्ली में मेरा सप्लायर बैठा है, उसने अपने जीएसटी रिटर्न में नहीं डाला तो मेरे को मुंबई में बैठे उसका क्रेडिट नहीं मिलेगा। और बहुत से बात, जैसे कहा सर ने, हर महीने काउंसिल मीटिंग होती है, फॉर्चुनेटली अभी 2.5-3 महीने से मीटिंग नहीं हुई है, तो चेंजेस इतनी फ्रीक्वेंट है कि हमें देखना पड़ता है। और अपीलेट लेवल तो अभी आया है, पहले तो अपीलेट लेवल था ही नहीं। तो ये सब कठिनाइयां जो बनती हैं, तो क्या होता है, ये हमारी एक्सपेक्टेशन एज अ बिजनेसमैन बहुत हाई है, बट हमारी सरकार बहुत पीछे। इसलिए ऐसे सेमिनार्स की जरूरत है जहां हम अपनी वॉइस पहुंचा सकें एज ए एकेडमिशियन, एज ए इंडस्ट्री, दैट दिस इज व्हाट इज लीडिंग टू स्ट्रेस। वी आर डिपेंडेंट ऑन टेक्नोलॉजी, लाइट, इंटरनेट। डिले होना बहुत जरूरी है, कभी कभी तो रात के 12 बजे भी बच जाते हैं कि वेबसाइट पोर्टल है, कभी चलता है कभी नहीं चलता है। और उस वजह से एक बहुत डर लगता है कि सपोज 20 तारीख हो गई तो क्या होगा, फियर। और कभी कभी इस फियर की वजह से आप मिस्टेक्स करते हो, एरर करते हो, और इस सब के लिए आपको क्लाइंट माफ नहीं करेगा अगर आप टैक्स कंसल्टेंट हो तो। वो बोलेगा बाबा तेरा पे टेंशन है, 20 तारीख है, भले गुड़ी पाड़वा है या कुछ भी है, आपको तो रिटर्न भरना ही है। तो टैक्स जो है वो रियली टैक्स हो जाता है हमारे लिए, क्योंकि कैपेसिटी के अलावा कंप्लायंस की बात हो जाती है। ये जो दुविधा है बहुत बड़ा है। तो जो कंप्लायंस कॉस्ट है ये एक बड़ा हिडन टैक्स है जो कभी हम ओपन फोरम में डिस्कस नहीं करते, इन बैठकों में हम डिस्कस करते हैं। ये टैक्स रेट भले 5% हो सर, कंप्लायंस रेट बहुत ज़्यादा है, और ये थ्रू बर्डन है जो हमारी गवर्नमेंट कभी रियलाइज नहीं करती। कैसे? सबसे पहला तो अकाउंटेंट का फी, उसके बाद कंसल्टेंट का फी, सॉफ्टवेयर, सिस्टम अपग्रेड्स, स्टाफ ट्रेनिंग, रिकंसिलिएशन का टाइम, नोटिसेस जो आते हैं उसको आंसर करने के लिए, आपके वेंडर्स आपको क्रेडिट नहीं देते हैं उसका फॉलोअप लेने के लिए। तो ये बहुत बड़ा रूटीन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एक्सपेंसेस है और ये एमएसएमई के लिए बहुत बड़ा बर्डन है। कॉम्प्लेक्स कंप्लायंस इज itself a hidden tax on every business. मैं बोलूंगा कि even though tax rate is moderate, the cost of compliance is very substantial. एक बहुत बड़े इशू पे मैं आ रहा हूं, वर्किंग कैपिटल, सबसे बड़ा इशू। वर्किंग कैपिटल ब्लॉक होता है? आंसर इज यस। लार्ज बिजनेस हाउस जो है उनके पास बहुत अमीर हैं, उनके पास बहुत पैसा है, बहुत रिजर्व है, ठीक है। हमारे एमएसएमई डेली जो कमाते हैं वही खाते हैं। तो जीएसटी कैसे प्रेशर लाता है? आपने 1 लाख रुपए का माल दे दिया और सपोज उसके बाद 5% टैक्स है, तो 1 लाख के ऊपर कितना 5% टैक्स हुआ? 5,000। अभी ये 5,000 रुपया टैक्स सपोज मैंने 19 तारीख को सेल किया, आज 19 तारीख को मैंने सेल किया तो ठीक है, लेकिन अगर 10 तारीख को सेल किया तो मेरे को 20 तारीख को वो 5,000 रुपया भरना ही है। भले वो सामने वाले को मैं 2 महीने का क्रेडिट दूंगा कि उसको मेरे आइटम भेजना है ना, तो एग्जैक्टली वो 5,000 कभी आएगा मेरे को? 2 महीने बाद। लेकिन सरकार को मैं 5,000 कभी भर रहा हूं? ये महीने के 20 तारीख को। तो इसलिए कि जीएसटी एक लायबिलिटी हो जाती है बिजनेस के लिए, उसे अब उतना जीएसटी का कैश फ्लो अपने लिए रखना पड़ता ही है। यानी भले मैं कमाऊं या नहीं कमाऊं, मेरे को गवर्नमेंट को भरना ही है। तो इससे ज्यादा अच्छे दिन क्या होंगे सरकार? यस, बोलिए।
Hello, I am having 8 GST numbers.
वही बोल रहा हूँ ना, आपका तो और परेशानी है।
नहीं, but I am at his work is allocated to somebody.
हाँ, तो किसको अलोकेट किया? तो यानी कोई तो कमा रहा है। तो आप भले सैलरी बिल लेट भरो, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल लेट भरो, ट्रांसपोर्टर को पेमेंट नहीं दो, सप्लायर को फॉलो अप करो, ईएमआई आपकी पेंडिंग होगी चलेगा, लेकिन टैक्स आपको 20 तारीख को कैसे भी भरना है। तो ये कहां ना कहां तो मेरे को चुभता है, सर को नहीं चुभता लेकिन मेरे को तो चुभता है। और सबसे बड़ा चुभता का तब है जब मेरा इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट ब्लॉक हो जाता है। अब ये ब्लॉक कैसे होता है ये मैं आपको बताता हूं। आपने जिससे माल परचेज किया उसने अपना रिटर्न लेट फाइल किया, मैं सपोज उससे 50,000 रुपया क्रेडिट आना था जीएसटी के फॉर्म में, उसने इस महीने का रिटर्न नेक्स्ट मंथ फाइल किया, तो मेरे को क्रेडिट इस मंथ नहीं मिलेगा, नेक्स्ट मंथ। उसने रॉन्ग क्रेडिट दे दिया, मेरे को क्रेडिट देने के बजाय इनको क्रेडिट दे दिया, तो ये तो बहुत खुश हो गए, मैं तो दुखी का दुखी। इनवॉइस एक सिंपल मिस्टेक गया, मैच बरोबर होना चाहिए। तो ये रिटर्न मैचिंग इश्यूज होते हैं। सर के पास अच्छे कंसल्टेंट इसलिए खुश लगे पड़े। क्लासिफिकेशन, जिसमें क्लासिफिकेशन 5% वाला 18% वाला क्लासिफिकेशन प्रॉब्लम है। टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम आ जाता है कि अपील है तो है ही नहीं, अपील अभी चालू हुआ है, और आपका डॉक्यूमेंटेशन इनसफिशिएंट है। कभी कभी तो ऑफिस में बुला लेते हैं, सर सब इनवॉइस लेके आओ, हम आपको चेक करना है। खास करके एक्सपोर्ट इंडस्ट्री की जब बात करते हैं ना, तो उसमें रिफंड का इश्यू आता है। रिफंड के लिए आपको बैंक का एफआरसी मैच करना पड़ता है। तो आपके डॉक्यूमेंटेशन का प्रॉब्लम है तो क्रेडिट कभी मिलेगा ही नहीं। तो इसलिए स्मॉल बिजनेसेस सफर करते हैं। पैसा जीएसटी सरकार को जाता है, लेकिन मिलता भी है, लेकिन लेट मिलता है। तो वर्किंग कैपिटल कहाँ ना कहाँ ब्लॉक होता है, रिफंड डिले होते हैं, और ये खास करके एक्सपोर्टर्स के लिए। और इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर यानी इनके गुड्स 18% वाले हैं, मेरे गुड्स 5% वाले हैं, तो इनके गुड्स के ऊपर मैं ज़्यादा टैक्स भरता हूँ, तो मेरे को रिफंड मिलना चाहिए। वो रिफंड मिलने के लिए बहुत तकलीफ होती है। तो जब भी मेरा रिफंड क्लेम ज़रूरी है, तो रिफंड इमीडिएट नहीं मिलता है, और मेरे को टाइम पे रिफंड फाइल करना पड़ता है। सर अगर मेरा डिले हो गया ना रिफंड, तो कोई भी सरकार रिफंड नहीं देती है। इनकम टैक्स देगा, लेकिन जीएसटी वाले कभी नहीं बोल पाते, वो 2 साल के अंदर आपको क्लेम करना चाहिए था, नहीं तो लैप्स हो जाता है, जैसे सर ने कहा। तो क्लेम के लिए, रिस्पॉन्डिंग के लिए वेटिंग करना पड़ता है, जो स्लो और डॉक्यूमेंट हैवी है। बुक कीपिंग इशू ये नहीं है, मेरा पैसा ब्लॉक हो जाता है, उसे मैं कितना भी चाहूं तो वो ग्रोथ के लिए जो जरूरी है वो मैं यूज नहीं कर सकता। और जैसे मैंने कहा कि एक जेन्युइन परचेजर है, लेकिन सामने वाले ने, जो सप्लायर है, उसने गलती कर दी, तो गई भैंस पानी में। उसकी गलती के लिए मैं क्यों भुगतूं? ऑफ कोर्स सुप्रीम कोर्ट, हाई कोर्ट ने जजमेंट्स दिए हैं कि अभी भुगतने की जरूरत नहीं है, लेकिन इसके लिए टाइम लगता है। जैसे सर ने कहा कि मैं एक स्मॉल ट्रेडर हूं, मैं एक सिंपल एग्जांपल देता हूं। 3 सप्लायर्स हैं, गुड्स रिसीव होते हैं, पेमेंट होता है, टैक्स इनवॉइस आती है, ट्रांजैक्शन रिकॉर्ड होता है, लेकिन एक सप्लायर ने रिटर्न प्रॉपर्ली फाइल नहीं किया, या उसने टैक्स पेमेंट में डिफॉल्ट कर दिया, तो क्या आपको इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट मिलेगा? नहीं मिलेगा। डिस्प्यूट में आ गया, आपको दिल्ली से भी नोटिस आ जाएगा कि ये सप्लायर जेन्युइन नहीं है, आप प्रूव करो कि वो जेन्युइन सप्लायर है। कितना अनफेयर प्रैक्टिकल है। मैं चोरी की नहीं, मैं तो ईमानदार आदमी हूं, मैंने गुड्स परचेज किए, माल आया, ट्रांजैक्शन मेंटेन किया, तभी भी सामने वाले की गलती से मैं सफर करता हूं। तो अभी मेरे इस प्रॉब्लम का सोल्यूशन के लिए मेरे को क्या करना है? मेरे को सामने वाले को करेक्ट करना है, बात तो पैसा भर तो मेरे को क्रेडिट मिलेगा। एंड इसके पीछे मेरे को रिपीटेडली फॉलोअप करना पड़ता है, इसके रिकॉर्ड्स रिकंसाइल करने पड़ते हैं, और इसके पीछे भागना पड़ता है, भले मेरे बिजनेस भले हालत खराब हो। तो मैं एक बिजनेसमैन छोड़ के एक पुलिसमैन बन जाता हूं फॉर सप्लाई चेन। लार्ज कॉर्पोरेशन में पॉसिबल है, मुझे नहीं लगता कोई मीडियम स्मॉल मैनेजमेंट एंटरप्राइजेस कर सकेगा। मैं चाहूंगा सरकार से निवेदन करके हम एमएसएमई को एक आसान रास्ता दिखाएं, जैसे ये जीएसटी का बर्डन इजी हो, और खास करके जो चेंजेस हैं जो जीएसटी लॉ में, एमएसएमई के लिए इतनी जल्दी नहीं लाएं। जो टैक्स प्रोसीजर लॉ, जैसे हमारे मोदी सर जी कहते हैं कि एक बार तो 5-6 साल वो इमीडिएटली सेम चलना चाहिए, जब तक गवर्नमेंट चेंज नहीं होती है। तो क्या होगा, एमएसएमई वाला जो ट्रेडर है उसे रीलर्निंग की जरूरत नहीं, उसको कंसल्टेंट जाने की जरूरत नहीं, वो खुद अपने पैसे से खुद टैक्स कंप्लायंस कर सकता है। और जो क्लासिफिकेशन डिस्प्यूट्स हैं ये सब अवॉइड हो जाएंगे, खास करके सेक्टर स्पेसिफिक इश्यूज भी जैसे सर ने कहे सब अवॉइड हो जाएंगे। और मैं चाहूंगा कि एक कॉम्पोजिशन स्कीम एमएसएमई के लिए लाई जाए, जैसे कि आसान टैक्स भरना हो, इंस्टेड ऑफ ये इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट ये वो सब, एक कॉम्पोजिशन स्कीम लाई जाए, जैसे बिल्डर्स के लिए 1% जीएसटी। तो क्या है, एक रिलीफ आएगा। और टेक्नोलॉजी भी इतनी सेफ होनी चाहिए कि मोबाइल पे ही आपका सब हो जाए, वेबसाइट की जाने की जरूरत क्यों, एक ऐप आ जाना चाहिए जहां जीएसटी मैंने कलेक्ट किया और जीएसटी भर दिया। तो नहीं मुझे स्टाफ की जरूरत है। और ये इनवॉइस भी मैं चाहूंगा कि इसका लिमिट थोड़ा बढ़ा देना चाहिए, जैसे कि इनवॉइस हर एमएसएमई को जरूरत नहीं होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि ये भी एक बहुत बड़ा कंप्लायंस का प्रॉब्लम है। और एक इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज मैं कहूंगा कि जैसे हमें दोस्त कहते हैं ऑफिसर्स लोग, जीएसटी वाले कहते हैं आजकल आप हमारे दोस्त हो, वी आर पार्टनर्स इन नेशन बिल्डिंग, तो वी शुड बी डेफिनेटली पार्टनर्स इन नेशन बिल्डिंग। छोटे छोटे चीजों के लिए अगर ये कंपोजिशन आ गया ना, मिसमैच ऑफ इनवॉइसेस, आईटीसी रिवर्सल्स, लेट फीस, इसके लिए डिपार्टमेंटल स्क्रूटनी अवॉइड होनी चाहिए। एक बिजनेसमैन को चोर के नजर से नहीं बल्कि दोस्त के नजर से देखना चाहिए। और खास करके मैं कहूंगा कि जहां हमारा हिंदुस्तान ट्रेडिशनल फैमिली बिजनेस के लिए मशहूर है, कम्युनिटी बेस्ड एस्टेब्लिशमेंट के लिए मशहूर है, स्टार्टअप्स के लिए मशहूर है, आर्टिसन इंडस्ट्री के लिए मशहूर है, सर्विस प्रोवाइडर्स में नंबर 1 है, ये तभी होगा जब हमारा जीएसटी इन सेक्टर्स को आगे बढ़ने की कोशिश करेगा। हमें अगर देश को साथ लेकर चलना है तो मैं कहूंगा कि ये एक आर्टिफिशियल सिंप्लीफिकेशन नहीं, रियल सिंप्लीफिकेशन होना चाहिए। वर्किंग कैपिटल पे नुकसान नहीं, कंपोजिशन लानी चाहिए, मन में विश्वास होना चाहिए कि हम देश को आगे लेके जा रहे हैं। आप पकड़ो, चोरों को पकड़ो, लेकिन हर एक आदमी चोर होता है ये जरूरी नहीं है। और उसके अलावा टैक्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को सिंप्लीफाई करो, लोगों को जैसे आपने मोबाइल लेके दिया है वैसे ऐप्स भी डेवलप करो जिससे जीएसटी कॉमन हो जाए। और इस सब के लिए एक सुझाव बैठक की जरूरत है। आज मैं चाहता था, आपके पास बहुत बड़ी लिस्ट है, जीएसटी कमिश्नर को भी आपने बुलाया था, एक अगर महाराष्ट्र स्टेट फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर भी आ जाते थे तो शायद आपका ये जो 2-day कॉन्फ्रेंस है, इट वुड हैव बीन अ स्टुपिडनेस सक्सेस, बट इट्स नेवर लेट देन नेवर। नेक्स्ट जीएसटी when you do it, please invite finance minister, say that management students want to really start startups, but they should be given concession for 2 years from GST. Then only India will survive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kishore sir, for really highlighting. Yeah. डॉट ऑन टाइम तो लास्ट बैट्समैन ने मैच विन करवा के दे दिया बोला मैं। थैंक यू किशोर सर फॉर हाईलाइटिंग द इश्यूज एंड चैलेंजेस विच वी कॉमन पीपल फेस अगेंस्ट द जीएसटी एंड let us see that whether the government put down all its efforts to rectify this thing so that now as we are running short of time, fastly if you are having any questions to be for the issues and challenges, the audience. नहीं sir, no doubt, we have really understood sir बोला मैं. Thank you very much sir.
Thank you to our respected moderator and distinguished panel members for such a thoughtful and engaging discussion. Your valuable insights and perspectives on the role of GST in shaping India's vision of Viksit Bharat 2047 has enriched our understanding and provided us with a meaningful takeaways. We will soon be moving towards making the formal conclusion of this 2-day national seminar of GST reforms and sectoral growth, unlocking potential in manufacturing services, e-commerce, insurance, healthcare, and real estate. Over the past 2 days, we have had the privilege of engaging in insightful discussions through provoking research presentations and enriching interactions with distinguished academicians and industry experts. This session has provided us with valuable perspectives on the evolving GST landscape and its impact across various sectors of the Indian economy.
Before we proceed further, we are delighted to announce the winners of the paper presentation session. The evaluation is based on the quality of the research, the clarity of the presentation, and the contribution to the topic of GST and sectoral development. We request Chairman Brother Alphonse Nessamini and Dr. Shalini Sinha, Director of SFIMAR, to present the certificates to the winners. We request the student coordinators to kindly escort Chairman Brother Alphonse Nessamini and Director Dr. Shalini Sinha to the stage. The second prize, the dignitaries kindly be seated, sir, please. Please be seated. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. We'll now be announcing the winners for the paper presentation. Yes, sir. The second prize goes to Ms. Hiral Mishra and Ms. Sumedha Maheshwari, and their research title was The Impact of GST Reforms on the Growth of the Indian Insurance Sector. And the first prize goes to, do we have any guesses? It's Miss Mehak Chadasama, and her title for the research paper presentation was The Impact of GST Rate Changes on the Financial Service Sector in India, Evidence from Practitioners and Financial Service Providers. Heartiest congratulations to all the winners and the participants for their excellent presentations. Thank you, brother, and thank you, Director Ma'am. A gentle reminder for all the participants to collect their certificates from the registration desk after the session is over.
Now, we request two participants to provide their short feedback on the two-day seminar. I would like to invite Ms. Priyanka to give a small feedback of the two-day session.
Good morning, everyone. The two-day national seminar on GST is highly enriching and insightful experience for us. The session provided a deeper understanding about GST, its impact and formalization, and various effects on sectoral impact. It's included health sector, real estate, and various other sectors as well as. The experts speaker shared practical knowledge which helped us to connect theoretical and learning with the real world example and experiences. Now overall the seminar was very productive and fruitful for us and for the other participants also. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would also like to call upon Ms. Yvonne Sakrani to give a small feedback.
Good evening, dignitaries. and good evening, students. I know everyone is ready to go and collect the certificate, but I'm Professor Yvonne Sakhrani, and I'm here to give the feedback on this 2 days conference on GST. First of all, 2 days, in first day was entirely about industry experts, and today also we heard from the industry experts. Second day, half the day was about the paper presentation. Very good papers were presented by the students, and one could make out that they had taken lot of efforts in doing the research. So it gave the students a very good exposure. Actually, I am here with my 13 students from St. Gonzalo Garcia College. So it gave a very good exposure to my students as well as the MMS students of the college as well. Okay, so this conference gave a lot of insightful information and knowledge to all the students who have attended this particular conference. And my request to the organizers is that you can organize such conferences every year where the students can get the exposure and they can learn academics as well as they can get very important feedback, insightful experiences from the industry experts. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Before we conclude, we will present a brief seminar report highlighting the key discussions, activities, and important takeaways from these sessions conducted over the past 2 days. The report will provide a summary of the keynote address, thematic sessions, research paper presentation, roundtable discussion, and other seminars which happened. Now I invite Dr. Smita Jesudasan to kindly come forward and present the seminar report and propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Sakshi and Nandita. So here is the brief seminar report on GST reforms and sectoral growth, unlocking potential in manufacturing services, e-commerce, insurance and healthcare and real estate, organized by St. Francis Institute of Management and Research in collaboration with Indian Council of Social Science Research on 17th and 18th March 2026. The program was inaugurated by Mr. Gajanan Kanande, Joint Commissioner, State Tax, GST Bhavan, Mumbai, and he provided the inaugural address that highlighted that GST reforms is one of the most significant fiscal reforms in India. He introduced the concept of one nation, one tax, improving transparency, compliance, and economic efficiency. Then we proceeded with the keynote address on GST reforms that was delivered by practicing chartered accountant Mr. Manish Gadia. He explained that GST is a destination-based tax that eliminated cascading effects through ITC and created a unified national market. The keynote address set the foundation for the further thematic sessions. The first thematic session was organized on the topic Impact of GST on Manufacturing and Services, Competitiveness and Cost Structures, that was delivered by CA Ms. Bhumika Chetan Agrawal. She discussed the impact of GST on cost structures and operational efficiency, highlighting that elimination of cascading effects through ITC and improved logistics and supply chain management. The next thematic session was delivered on the topic GST-enabled formalization in India's e-commerce and insurance trends and challenges, that was delivered by CS Dr. Swapnil Shenvi. He focused on digital transformation and formalization under GST with key insights proving that the concepts of GST and e-invoicing compliance systems. He also spoke about increased transparency and accountability. He highlighted the e-commerce sector benefits from structured track systems and the TCS mechanism. Moving on to the thematic session 3 on the topic taxation of service under GST, emerging issues and healthcare and real estate, that was delivered by the resource speaker, CA Ms. Payal Prerna Ramnikbai Shah. She covered sector-specific taxation challenges, and she spoke about exceptions that include premium hospital services and cosmetic procedures. And with respect to real estate, she stated that sale of land is not taxable under GST. Also, construction and development services are taxable. Next, moving on to day 2, 18th March, we commenced with a paper presentation where we had 5 papers being presented. The participants included academicians, research scholars, and students. And the themes highlighted the sectoral impact of GST, the policy challenges and reforms, digitalization, and compliance. These sessions promoted academic discussion aligned with the seminar objectives of research and policy development. Then we had the roundtable conference comprising Dr. Natika Poddar, Dr. Smita Jesudasan, and Dr. Prachi Malgaonkar. The roundtable highlights were the GST shifted taxation, strengthening of the digital tax administration, improved record-keeping discipline, supported data-driven compliance and mechanism, enabled better access to credit and formal financing for business. This discussion emphasized that GST's role in market integration, formalization, and ease of doing business. Next, we had the panel discussion on the theme, Role of GST in India's Vision of Viksit Bharat 2047 Sectoral Perspectives. We had eminent panel members including Professor C.A. Kishore Peshori, Mr. Vijay Gusar, Dr. Nishesh Vilekar, and our moderator, C.A. Mr. Gurunathan Pillai. The discussion points focused by Mr. Nishesh Vilekar highlighted that GST has simplified taxation for MSMEs. But however, there are challenges which include compliance burden and a lack of adequate knowledge of GST regulations. Mr. Vijay Gosar discussed the role of Jan Aushadhi scheme in improving access to affordable medicines and explained the pre and post GST impact in the pharmaceutical sector. Professor C.A. Kishore Peshori explained that GST has improved transparency and discipline through systems such as IGST input tax credit. He also highlighted that increased documentation and compliance requirements have raised the need for professional services. CA Mr. Gurunathan Pillai effectively moderated the session by making insightful questions on the pharmaceutical sector, MSME growth, including their prospects. He made the discussion interactive and practical-oriented, helping students gain real-world insights and knowledge directly from the industry experts. And the program concluded with the valedictory session, giving away the certificates of winners for the paper presentation, feedback by 2 participants, and the presentation of the seminar report. So now I'm proposing the vote of thanks. Good evening to one and all. It is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on the occasion of the valedictory session of the 2-day seminar organized by St. Francis Institute of Management and Research in collaboration with Indian Council of Social Science Research on the topic GST reforms and its impact on various sectors. At the outset, I express our sincere gratitude to the Indian Council of Social Science Research, ICSSR, for their collaboration in organizing this seminar and making this a grand success. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our inaugural chief guest, Mr. Gajanan Kanande, Joint Commissioner of State Tax, GST Bhavan, Mumbai, for inaugurating the seminar and for his inaugural address. I want to express our deepest appreciation to our distinguished resource speakers, CA Mr. Manish Gadia for his insightful keynote address on GST reforms, CA Bhumika Chetan Agrawal for her session on impact of GST on manufacturing and services, competitiveness and cost structures, CS Dr. Swapnil Shenvi for his enlightening session on GST-enabled formalization in India, e-commerce and insurance trends and challenges, and CA Payal Prerna Ramnikbhai Shah for an invaluable session on taxation of services under GST, emerging issues in healthcare and real estate. I extend my sincere gratitude to the session chair of the paper presentation, Dr. Simirani Prasad and Dr. Sandeep Kuttarkar, for their valuable guidance, insightful observations, and effective steering of the academic discussion. I would also like to express our appreciation to the distinguished members of the roundtable, CMA Dr. Natika Poddar, Dr. Smita Jesudasan, and Dr. Prachi Malgaonkar, for their thought-provoking discussion and meaningful contributions. I would also like to thank our esteemed panel members, CA Professor Kishore S. Peshori, Mr. Vijay Gussar, and Dr. Vishesh Vilekar, and our moderator, CA Gurunathan Pillai, for their enriching panel discussion on the role of GST in India's vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. I extend my sincere gratitude to our respected chairman, Reverend Brother Alphonse Nessamani, for his visionary leadership and constant guidance. My heartfelt thanks to our director, Dr. Shalini Sinha, for a constant support and encouragement, to our registrar, Reverend Brother Albin Tete, for his unwavering cooperation, and to our Deputy Director and HOD MMS, Dr. G. Ramesh, for his valuable support throughout the seminar. I extend my gratitude to all the participants, paper presenters, research scholars, academicians, staff members, and students for their enthusiastic participation and valuable contribution. I would like to specially acknowledge the efforts of our convener, Dr. Natika Poddar, for a dedicated planning and execution of the seminar. A big thank you to the administrative staff team comprising Mr. Abhishek Vengulekar, Mr. Praveen Kot, and Ms. Chaya Salian for their tireless efforts behind the scenes. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to the IT team led by Mr. Prakash Lalwani, Mr. Anthony D'Souza, the maintenance team, the housekeeping staff, the secretary staff, and wholeheartedly Mr. Madaswamy for their technical support and arrangements made at the venue. A special word of thanks to all our student volunteers whose energy, discipline, and commitment has made this seminar truly successful. Finally, I thank the entire SFIMAR family, all faculty members, staff members, along with the students for their collective effort and support in making this seminar memorable and enriching. With this, we conclude the enriching academic journey of the two-day seminar. Thank you, one and all.
A special thank you to Dr. Smita Jesudasan, co-convener of this seminar, and our comparers for this 2 days program, Ms. Nandita and Ms. Sakshi, for doing such a wonderful comparing. Thank you much.
Thank you, Dr. Natika. Have a pleasant evening. Let us have a group photograph requesting the national anthem. Okay. All of you, please rise for the national anthem.
Everybody will be singing the national anthem together. Let's start. नायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता
Thank you very much, everyone. Please be seated. Please be seated,
Everybody
everyone.
kindly